Wow, with Bitcoin getting rejected right at this specific price channel and actually failing to break above 9,700 like we talked about, a pullback is definitely in order, but is this actually the perfect time and the perfect setup over the next week or so? We'll take a look at this. Guys, a Bitcoin 896-day accumulation will now spark $100,000 bull run, argues this analyst. There's some very good information in this article that we're going to go over, guys. Extremely exciting. And as well, we talked about Crypto Kaleo's chart in yesterday's video, guys. So far, it's actually still playing out perfectly. He had this chart up for the last 3 days, and so far, the last 3 days, it's been pitch perfect. He has a target to the downside. And specifically, this area of resistance actually lines up perfectly with this potential symmetrical triangle on the 4-hour chart here on Bittrex, guys. This is huge. One thing to note is that these patterns don't necessarily break up more often than they break down. However, this would 100% give us the momentum to push clearly above 11K, so we'll show the targets for that. And as well, a pullback over the weekend actually would be the perfect timing for this, guys. We only have 2 more days until we get a weekly candle close. As we've been mentioning, we did get rejected yet again for the 4th week in a row, right at this golden pocket of the last 2.5 years. Golden pocket Fibonacci retracement right here around like 9,700 US dollars. As we talked about in yesterday's video, we failed to break above that. We got to push down. So what is the next likely move? But more importantly, we're going to be talking about why this whole setup is extremely bullish looking even a month down the road. We're about to enter June of 2020, and I think that this is where things could really start getting exciting. And I think it's the first month where we really actually have the possibility this month to break 10K for good. Oh, let's get juicing. Wow, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to an extremely episode of Bitcoin, guys. We actually have some really important stuff to go over today. Specifically, these charts have been playing out pretty much exactly as we would hope that they would. We're still getting that rejection, and we don't have the juice to get above it just yet, but it looks like we definitely could be seeing that. And guys, as well, I'm extremely excited to go over this CoinTelegraph article by William Suberg. This is just chocked full of meat, chocked full of some of the best information, the most exciting information, guys. So many good points, so I cannot wait to get into that webisode. Wow, very exciting, guys. So make sure, if we can hit 1,500 likes, we usually average like 1,000 or 1,100 likes. If we can hit 1,500 likes, we'll give away this ledger in the next webisode. Make sure to smash ding, hit the comments, turn on subscribes, turn on the bells. And you guys as well, we actually uploaded a 13.5 minute of our first intro compilation here, okay? Over 13 minutes of just hilarious memes, just awesome stuff that'll get your juices flowing so that you can learn and master some TA. Wow, let's get into this TA, guys. So let's start off on the weekly chart today. As we talked about in yesterday's video, guys, we got rejected right at the $9,700 level, which is this key level that we've been unable to break into and stay above for weeks and weeks and weeks now. It's just a really important level, and it lines up with a lot of these other charts, but specifically, we failed there. What is the next move? So guys, as many of you may or may not know, in terms of the CME gap, which I can pull up right here, this gap is already filled, so we can get rid of this one here, but what I love to see is similar to what we saw last week, where we have a little price correction during the weekend. And actually last weekend, I think we pumped a little bit, and then towards the end of the weekend, like late Sunday night, we actually dropped a lot. Because I remember this weekly candle close, we were above like 99, and we ended up getting pushed all the way down. Our weekly candle actually closed around 8,700 US dollars, guys, so pretty big drop right there. Now, what would be perfect, because it looks like we have some downside momentum, hopefully that can continue over the weekend, because I mean, it looks as though, especially on this chart, pushing up for the past few days, if we could get continued consolidation, maybe even travel to the bottom of this, which we'll show a target of as well, guys. This is huge. But specifically, if we get a gap to the downside, that's exactly what we want to see, in my opinion. And if we switch to this daily chart on Bittrex, guys, we got that rejection exactly like right on the line, basically right here, right around like 96, 95.50. You see we came all the way up here to about 96.25, and you see we're getting a rejection so far, similar to when we got the bounce down here. Every one of these lines, guys, I can't reiterate, I can't state this enough. This chart is just insanely important here on the daily. We can zoom back. This is just so important. This has just been providing resistance and support for so long. But what's more interesting now, okay, so we're getting that rejection here. What's more interesting now is that after we broke out of that seeming falling wedge, what's really interesting is that this downside target in this potential symmetrical triangle is exactly what would make sense, in my opinion, in terms of a pullback. Because if we get a pullback to that area, and if we hold it again, there is very little doubt in my mind that we're actually going to head up over the next few days and actually test the top of this. And most likely, I think this is exactly where we could break out of this. And this is also lining up perfectly with this longer term time frame of the past 2.5 year resistance for Bitcoin. So that is just huge. These things are just lining up perfectly. You can actually draw the same thing on this chart. It would be roughly like that. Okay, basically you're getting the same pattern there, but this is just a really clean version. So my perfect scenario, this would be the most bullish scenario, is if for the next few days we continue and we travel down, coming down to that $8,800 level, which again, it's not that, I mean, this chart looks pretty big, but this is on the 4 hour, it's pretty small. This price action from here, what is this, 93, almost 9,400 down to here, would only be about a $500 drop. So this looks pretty big, but this is only $500. We see swings like that all the time, okay? That happens all the time. So if we got that one pullback, and this could take a few days, right? Ideally, this would happen over a few days. In the process, especially if it happens over the weekend, we would be creating a gap to the upside, depending on where the CME closes tonight, okay, only a few hours away. Have a gap to the upside, and then try yet again to break this. If we break this, I think that's going to be explosion time if we're going to get the breakout. So, I'd say it's very possible within the next 7 to 10 days. Ideally, probably, I hope it takes that long. It could be sooner, but I think it would be better if it took a little bit longer. Guys, ever since May 7th, we've been testing this level to try and break above it. And if we show you on this longer term chart, again, May 7th, we've been failing to break above this. Why this is so important, if we break above this, like we've been saying, if we break above this the past 2.5 years, for the first time, it's back to explosion. So huge. And that's exactly why I want to show you this article here. The 896-day accumulation will now end and spark a $100,000 Bitcoin run, potentially, according to Plan B, stock to flow, even all the way up at the very highest, up to maybe $600,000 per Bitcoin. Now, guys, before we get into that, just imagine for a second, if Bitcoin hit 600,000 US dollars, what do you think altcoins would do? Okay. Anybody with a brain would say, wow, the altcoins are also going to go up. Whether or not you hate altcoins, whether you love them, whether you think they're pointless, whether you think they're the real technology and actually better than Bitcoin, whatever your opinion is, it would be silly to not acknowledge that most likely, like every single time Bitcoin is pumped, altcoins will also see a pump as well. I have actually been buying a lot of altcoins recently. Been buying a lot of them, and I just think that it's not financial advice, but I personally think it's a very smart move for me to be doing that. With that in mind, always prepare for downside, always prepare that you could buy, and then the next day everything's down 10%. But I'm talking about long term, and guys, even now, long term for me is 3 months from now, because I think we're so close to seeing a massive rally in the markets. We used to be saying like, oh, it could be a year away. A year from now, if Bitcoin isn't over at least $50,000, I would be absolutely shocked. If by summer of 2021, Bitcoin is not at the very least 50,000 US dollars, I will be incredibly shocked with everything, because that just simply isn't what Bitcoin has been preparing for the last 10 years in terms of its technical analysis, in terms of the patterns it's been repeating. Again, I just definitely think, that's just what I believe. Could go either way, and that's why it's not financial advice, but that is 100% my opinion, where I think this is going. So before we get into this absolutely awesome article here by William Suberg, let's actually take a look at this, get a little recap of yesterday. So what Crypto Kaleo had is charted this kind of like a falling wedge, breakout up to basically, 97 roughly, which we got all the way up to, let's take a look on this chart, all the way up to about 96.38. Again, exchanges differ, but for the most part, I don't think we broke 97 on any of these other exchanges. So 97, then he has it pull back roughly to about 94. Let's see where we're getting a pullback so far. He has about 93, 94, or the actual charts have about 93. So very accurate so far. And then the chart just shows a breakout from about 95, 96, all the way up to almost 11,000. So 10,800 US dollars, guys. So we will know by tomorrow, because this breakout charted on this screen has this for tomorrow. So with that being said, this goes against what I just said. I'm hoping for a more weekend dump. Let me see here, so that we can see something more like this. And this chart kind of goes against what I personally hope happens, because we're going to be creating a weekend gap, and I don't like weekend gaps, because for the most part they get filled, meaning the price just has to go back down. However, I got to give the guy props, because so far over the last 3 days, he tweeted this back on May 26th. It's been 3 days. So far, this price action has been very accurate. So again, we will know by tomorrow. Two sides of the same coin. So basically, he's saying it'll probably go to 11K this weekend, and I'm hoping that we get a continued dump. So we will see. And this is his Twitter account as well, at Crypto Kaleo. But he says here, most of y'all won't believe this until several days from now after it plays out. And he tweeted that 4 days ago, guys. So it's always interesting to see people make predictions and see if they come true or not, because if they do become true, it's truly where people become legends. Absolutely huge. So let's get into this article here. CoinTelegraph, Bitcoin 896, basically 900-day accumulation now will spark a $100,000 Bitcoin run over the next 2 years. But specifically, a lot of price action very soon, meaning we're going to be breaking 10K soon, according to this article. So let's see here. A giant repositioning since December 2017 is about to come to a close, claims Positive Crypto. That's his account name, Positive Crypto, leading to new price all-time highs. So Bitcoin has spent almost 900 days correcting from 20,000 US dollars. Bitcoin has not been above $20,000 in about 900 days. But its trip to $100,000 is about to start here. So that is the opinion of popular social media trader and analyst Positive Crypto, who on May 29th, today, declared that the largest cryptocurrency's 896-day climb down would soon be over. It says here, according to an accompanying chart, the time since December 2017 has been one massive accumulation phase during which investors reposition themselves and bought in. It says here, this is about to give way to a new bull run, which will obliterate 20,000 US dollars. The last 900 days, he's quoted as saying, were simply one massive accumulation phase before the run to over $100,000 per Bitcoin. And the consolidation structure will soon be broken. Are you prepared? So the consolidation structure he's talking about is literally exactly what we just spent this first half of the video talking about, breaking out of this specifically. This specifically 900-day. We can actually, let's take a look at this, guys. This is the entire consolidation. We'll actually take it from here and we'll get the exact number of days so far. Yeah, so it's literally, according to this, it's actually over 900 days. But basically, 900 days we've been below this line. I got a comment yesterday. Somebody said they're new to this space and they're like, what is this line? Well, this line is what Bitcoin has been failing to break above for the past 900 days. And when it does break above that line, that's by far the biggest macro indicator that things are about to get explosive. So guys, again, not financial advice, but if you want to be invested in these markets, if you're interested in, joining for the next year or two, get ready, because I definitely think it's going to happen extremely, extremely soon. I've been saying this for a long time, and I'm getting annoyed that I repeat myself so much, but guys, there's going to be a certain point where we won't be able to say get ready because it's already happening. Anybody that's been in the space knows this stuff happens so fast, that it can happen so fast. Says here, Cointelegraph reported various analysts are now convinced after this month's block subsidy having a bullish trend will kick in for Bitcoin within the next 1 to 2 years at most. Plan B stock to flow predicting $300,000 per Bitcoin, with an all-time high easily being twice that, around $600,000 per Bitcoin. Network indicators are also providing food for thought. 60% of Bitcoin supply, for example, has not moved in a year or more, which basically means people are holding on because they expect a very big ride. Bitcoin's position in its current so-called HODL wave supply data says has triggered bull runs in every previous cycle, guys. So again, huge, just very exciting episode. I think there's so much coming. And I think you guys have to be prepared. So definitely check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as well, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think we're going to get a weekend dump? Or do you think we're going to do similar to what Crypto Kaleo has charted here for the past almost week, going up to 11K this weekend, which inevitably would create a downside gap, which we would probably have to fill. But in the long term, really, it doesn't have any bearing. If we break this long-term structure, that is by far the most important thing we have to watch out for. So guys, as well, everyone involved in T4, make sure to check out all the updated courses. They're actually getting better as I make them. I'm actually putting more work into these videos as time goes on. So the newer videos are much better, I believe. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. So everybody already involved, just prepare for better quality videos as well. We update them and just to make it a better experience, because you guys have paid for some good knowledge there. And as well, guys, at 13.5, we're going to add more of these. 13.5 intro compilation of all of our intros here on the channel down here on Humor. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely check out that. It's a ride. It'll make you laugh and giggle all day long. Huge stuff. $45 off with coupon code MAYDAY. Huge. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Peace.